Okay, the channel system, since it's been lowered, has been replanted. I went ahead and I put a bunch of romaine, little fishies. Y'all can see the fish down there having fun. The water's cloudy because we've been doing so much to the system. Anyway, put a bunch of romaine. There's like 6 heads of romaine, 6 heads of butter crunch. I've still got some store-bought seedlings and some onions down here that we started when we started the other seeds. Oh, so excuse the bumpiness. Now I got a couple heads of kale, a few heads of young spinach. Then on the back side I've got, I can't remember, it's just different kinds of lettuce though. There's some Swiss chard, butter crunch, romaine. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the list. We wrote it all down, but I just can't recall what all we planted. So I know the romaine and the butter crunch are in the front, and what the kale and the strawberry is. When the other stuff comes up, I'll probably be able to tell it. Now, this first bed is broccoli. Spaced a little closer together than you would in the ground. In the ground, it's supposed to be, what, 18 inches, I believe. Here, it's not competing for nutrients or moisture from the soil. It gets everything it needs. It bathes in what it needs. So, the broccoli, then I've got some radishes scattered out in here. Most of this stuff is what the soon-to-be ex decided to plant, like the broccoli and whatever. She decided to light a fire and plant some stuff. She wanted to plant it in the raised bed I got the grapes in, and I'm like, well, I have to have stuff growing to keep the fish alive, so let's just plant it out there. So I've got some peas planted here that I will be training up and over onto this. Like I said, the sun comes from that direction, so that's the south over there. So, which is why I took the fencing off on the back. During the summer, the sun was a lot higher and nothing was really shaded out. I noticed the other day that the limas that had overgrown that fence had completely shaded the first few beds. So I tore it down and just on the ends. I'll just keep the vines trained to there and then go from there. And then more radishes. Radishes are everywhere because I planted a bunch of radishes. So she scattered them out all over. And then this is a cauliflower, I believe. Or it's probably cabbage because I've got green cabbage back there, and I've got red cabbage in the front. The red cabbage we started from seed, so it's really small. But the green cabbage I bought store-bought. So, and then this is probably cauliflower, more radishes. I think this is turnips in the front. Then squash, and I can't remember what these are. And we had so much stuff planted, I'd have to go by the list. Just scattering different stuff out. Then I had about 8 heads of iceberg lettuce planted back here. 8 little seedlings like this planted that were iceberg lettuce. A caterpillar got in here and ate 2 of them. I mean, 2 of them were just gone. I found the remnants, the lower stem of one of them, and searching around to try to figure out what happened, I found a big fat caterpillar. So I chunked him, and I put one of the little strawberries back here, which reminded that first bed that had the broccoli in it had a few strawberries in it that she threw in there. I wouldn't have put them in there, but that's what she did. Then there's some Rutgers tomatoes in here. There's one here that the rabbit ate some of, but it'll come back. And I've moved another one over to here. Now it's only been about 5 days, and this one had some roots on it that were about 1 inch long, starting to go down into the gravel when I pulled it up to move it over to here. So these will do just great. Once again, I mean, she had radishes all over in here. I moved a couple of them just to be able to move the tomato over to where I could just let it grow without having to transplant it when it had more roots on it. But the radishes will come up no matter what the tomatoes are doing. Like I said, the blackberries are still in here that I stuck stems in to see if they would root, and they did, and grew like crazy. And anywhere that they grew back into, the grow bed. The rabbit chewed this one in two for some reason here, but I started them all back there. This one worked around to the front on its own and went back down in and re-rooted. So I'm leaving it alone to see if any leaves come back off that stem, because it does have some buds working out here and one right there. But so they re-rooted around here. So I'm just going to leave the blackberries. If they keep going till spring, then I'll pull them up, transplant them to soil where I've intended to plant them all along. So, and the eggplant is now nicely tied up, blooms all over.